Boom! Welcome, welcome, everybody. Where's my notepad? Here it is. Hey guys, this is episode 76 of The Nooner. I am your host, David Bradley. Over my shoulder here is my good buddy Ben DeVolder. We're going to be talking to him about 3 Cardone lessons that has changed his insurance career. I should turn that down just a hair. So welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate the favors, the restreams in advance. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, welcome. This is episode 76 of The Nooner, where we're going to be talking with Ben DeVolder. 3 Cardone lessons that changed his insurance career. So let me introduce myself to you first and foremost. My name is David Bradley. Who am I? I'm a sales and marketing manager with Cardone. We work with companies to increase production 15 to 30% simply by helping them find and then handle missed opportunity. Another thing about me is I'm the author of a book called How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. Holy smoke. Smoked the cigarettes for about 15 years, could not quit at all. But I found a way to stop. There is a difference, and I detail that in my book, How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. Holidays are coming up. New Year's resolutions are coming up. If you or somebody you know or love is still struggling to kick the habit, this book is perfect for them. So check out stopdon'tquit.com. Third thing about me is I'm the founder of a hashtag called Rich Man's Gym. Rich Man's Gym is all about home-based strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. I'm working on that. It's going to be my next book. But if you search that hashtag, you can find some pretty cool stuff about working out from home. So this is The Nooner. We are 76 episodes into this thing. So this is The Nooner. We are 76 episodes into this thing. The purpose of The Nooner is to bring you a noontime nugget about either sales, business, or life. Today we're going to be talking about 3 Cardone lessons that changed the insurance career of my good buddy Ben DeVolder over my shoulder. So let's get down to it. Hey, how are you?
What's going on?
Okay.
What's going on? You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you. Hopefully you guys in the Meerkat world can hear him. I'm going to get some volume going on right here. Just a little bit more. So this has been, well, why don't you tell us, who are you?
Hello. Yeah, my name's Ben DeVolder. I do health insurance, and I'm a Cardone U fanatic.
Nice, man. How long, what do you do with insurance? What kind of insurance?
Yeah, it's health insurance, and it's kind of a niche. It's for individuals and families.
Okay.
We primarily gear towards the self-employed, but you don't have to be 1099. But basically, it's anyone looking for an alternative to what they're seeing in their current rate situation, deductibles, what have you. It's a good alternative kind of stuff to look at. Fantastic.
Okay, so you guys out there that are watching this on Meerkat, if you've got questions about that, tweet them to me and put the hashtag in there, hashtag The Nooner. So if you have any questions for Ben about insurance, about sales, how to sell insurance, feel free to throw these up here, and we can actually dig into some questions as we get towards the end of the stream. So just remember to use the hashtag The Nooner. How'd you get started? I know when we first connected, you were doing personal training and fitness.
Yeah, actually, when we first got started, when we first connected, I already put my 2 weeks in. So literally, like, you walked into my life, Grant walked into the life as soon as I made a career change. Just bought a new house at the time and started at a new job, new career at zero with a mortgage payment I wasn't used to, and it was kind of back against the wall. I had to make this work. So I stumbled into it, really. I didn't ever think to myself, I'm going to do insurance, you know.
Right.
My dad's still an agent with State Farm. I grew up going to the office after school all the time. So, it was one of those things where, you hear that, you're thinking, oh, it's in the blood, but I honestly never thought of myself being an insurance agent. And then it just kind of, I really stumbled in it. I just was looking online one day. I'm like, I can sell. I know I could sell, like I thought I knew how to sell at the time, but, I can do something. And then I started kind of naturally flowing that way and ran into the company on accident, really, and then everything's worked out great since. So.
Dude, that's terrific. What do you enjoy most about doing that?
For me, from the personal side, it's I got the flexibility. I'm first time in my life I can work when I want to work, whenever, I have that freedom. But of course, on Grant's material, there's also that discipline aspect that comes to it. So, I make myself, put in the time and the effort. But without being too cliche, I'm helping people with a product that is needed, that people actually, need, it's why, and it happens to be, in this industry, something that's, it's a hot topic. I mean, you turn on the news, you read any newspaper, you're going to see something, Obamacare. That's all you got to say. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, I know what that is about. Yeah. So it's honestly, it's made business, I guess, easier than it has been for some people that were doing it 5-10 years ago before it. But helping people with something that I feel like I'm really making a difference with in their finances, it's a good deal.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. It sounded like you sort of answered it, which is why of all the things, why do you, you've been doing it for how long? 3 years? More?
This month will actually mark 3 years. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So,
it's our 3-year anniversary.
That's right. That's right. So, why do you still do it?
Well, at this point, it's Grant talks about finding the right vehicle.
Yep.
For what you do, to get there, and it's for my goals and dreams, what I want to do for my family, this particular opportunity at this particular company, it's beyond anything I could have dreamed at this point, and it's just getting started. So, I've got my future, wrapped up in it, financial future, what I want to do. So it gets better every year, and in insurance, people that do insurance will know, you work hard, you build that book of business, and it starts to get a little sweeter and sweeter every year, and
right.
Just try to, make hay. So, if you make it past the first year, then the answer to the question is, I made it past the first year, so there's no reason to not be in it now,
So, right. So what is it that separates, so it's U.S. Health Advisors, what is it that separates you guys from, say, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, or what makes you guys great?
Yeah, I'll do as much as I can to these questions, because it's such a ridiculously regulated industry, so I don't want to say anything that's going to ever flow out and put me in a predicament as far as getting into details.
Right.
But I guess I can answer that with we offer an option that is essentially approved by the states that we sell in, and it's an exempt, meaning it's the technical world, the legal world is not alternative, but it gives healthy people an opportunity to get into something. A health plan and association is what it's through to get some benefits they couldn't get by themselves. Like, you can't go on to Google and by yourself and Joe Schmo type in our company and sign up for our plan and see how they're custom built plans for people, and it's for healthy people only. And so most plans, like your BlueCross, nowadays under the Affordable Care Act, they can take anybody. So we're looking for people that are good health, take care of themselves, that want the coverage to protect themselves, and don't feel like they need to be paying for all this extra stuff they're not using.
Okay,
so
a guy like me, assuming you were in California, I eat right, I don't smoke, I don't drink, neither does my wife. We take really good care of ourselves. We don't really need to go to the doctor. If that's sort of your ideal client.
That's a perfect fit, and I'm going to put a non-shameless plug in there. So I'm in Florida, I'm in Indiana, I'm in Pennsylvania, and I'm in Tennessee. So anyone watching that wants more specific details, like I said, in this forum, I'll try to do what I can to answer the questions, without not answering them. But if you want specifics, feel free to tweet out, get my contact info. I can leave that and get that to you.
So how do people get a hold of you?
They can contact me on Facebook. Of course, most people get a hold of me. I have no problem giving out my cell phone. So
drop it. Throw it down there. What is it? Lay it on us.
All right. Area code's 989.
Okay.
750-2231.
Okay. What's your Twitter handle?
Call. That's probably the quickest.
Yeah.
Twitter handle's B DeVolder, USHA, at B DeVolder, USHA.
Love it. Cool. So when we first connected, was that you? Was that the first time, which was about 3 years ago? Was that the first time you stumbled on Grant? You're starting to get into this a little bit. How'd you stumble on Grant Cardone?
Yeah, I remember where I was sitting. I was at the old gym in the office there, and I typed in YouTube sales motivation stuff, and I remember the video. I don't know what the title of it is now, but I remember the video. It was Grant, someone had it, I think it was from a phone, but yeah, it was on YouTube. He was doing his little deal to like a dealership, I think, and it was like within 2 minutes, and I'm like, dude, I've watched all kinds of motivational stuff, but this is different, and I was immediately like, dude, this is now, yeah. So
we ain't in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
That was it.
Yeah. What And so let's see, you've been on Cardone U the whole time, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I think I called in and got hooked up with you. I think that week. That didn't take me too long once I got the hook. So,
yeah.
I think we hooked up. I think a month or two later. I mean, I had to borrow the money.
Right.
So that was the deal. Got to open a credit card and put it down, and then we'll figure the rest out. And of course, it's worked out, tremendously. So
totally.
That was it, man. Yeah.
So for those of you in the Meerkat stream, we're talking about Cardone University right now, and what that program is. It's a cloud-based sales solution center for a salesperson to have a place that they can go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to immediately solve whatever problem has popped up for them so that they can sell more, which means better take care of their family and literally create their own level of prosperity and their future. So, and Ben here's been on it for a few years. How do you use Cardone University? What's your ritual with that program? Everybody's a little different there.
Yeah. So, what I like to do is it's definitely the first thing to start my day out with. So I know in there Grant has all these recorded sales meetings.
Yep.
And I'll use them as my own little personal sales meetings. So my wife will tell you, I'll walk around and make breakfast. I'll be in the shower, whatever I'm doing to get ready. If I'm walking around, I'll have my phone out. You can access it from your phone,
not
just your laptop.
Yeah.
And I'll just pull out one of those sales meetings he runs, and I'll just listen to it as my own little personal, get my day, get my juices going, and then again in the afternoon or during the day, if I'm making my calls, doing what I'm doing, if I'm running into some objections or I just my focus is a little off, I'll pop up on there and I can go to different objections, word tracks, things that I'm dealing with, and that's what I like about it. It's not just a bunch of fluff and motivation and hoorah. It's like actual applicable stuff. Like the person said this, here's what you do.
Yeah.
So I use it as my kind of go tool in that way.
So you're starting your day with it so that you're getting your headspace in the right spot, and then as the day progresses, you start solving problems as they come around.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you first get it, I sat down and just went through it. I start here.
Yeah.
It basically kind of comes from the sell or be sold. Really, the basics. I can't think of the terminology at the moment, but yeah, where you're going through and just kind of getting your foundation and then going through it. But once you kind of go through it all, you start knowing what's there, and then you can start using it, like you said, to kind of piece together, like whatever I'm dealing with that time, that day, I can find it, like it's there, And there's stuff there that I've just now like recently found. There's stuff that's always being added or changed. I mean, it's crazy. There's so much in there. It's nuts.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been following Grant since 2003. I've had access to this online program since 2011 when I started working for him, and I still find stuff that I've seen before, but every day it's like, you're a different you as you evolve. So it's almost like seeing it again for the first time. When we decided to do this, have you on the Nooner, I wanted to get like 3 key core lessons that you have learned over the last 3 years of studying Grant, studying his material, that have literally had like not just a ding, but like a massive impact in your selling career and your ability to be a better insurance agent. What are those 3 things?
Yeah, I mean, so the first thing that came to mind, I know when we were talking about it, was the always, always, always agree.
Yeah.
You want me to expound on them as I go through them?
Oh yeah, man, just spew.
Yeah, I mean, with that, the reason that came to mind is because it's really the first rule of selling. So anyone that's listening, I mean, if you've got his sell or be sold, if you know anything about Grant's sales philosophy process, you know that the first rule is always, always, always agree. And there's intentionally 3 always there. It's not always agree. It's not always, always. It's always, always, always agree. And it just kind of, that became the one thing that I first just kind of took, and I just made it like my thing. Like, doesn't matter what the prospect customer says, how emotional, what they're doing. It's always completely understand, sir. I feel the same way.
Right.
For example.
What have you found? What does that do for the client?
It lowers that wall. I mean, and it just kind of sets them back. And I'm already differentiating myself from everyone. If you sit in the sales office and watch people, I mean, it just totally. It doesn't come from like head-on confrontational. It's like you're agreeing with them. It softens them up, if you will, for lack of better words. Just kind of like, hey, I'm with you. I like the line. I want the same thing. Regardless of what they tell me, I want the same thing. I totally get it. And it opens up the negotiation. It opens up for there to be a solution for me to get what my end goal is, depending on the situation, just by doing that. So that was the first rule of selling. I made it a part of my deal before anything else. And it literally, that alone got me deals and got me through some things, got me turned around some tough customers just by that one rule. And of course, that's what it's all about. So that was the first thing I thought of.
Without giving up too much or putting yourself in an awkward position, can you think of an example or cite us an example where using this agreement thing has worked? And I mean, even has it affected your personal life at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working on it with the wife. I don't always say
Me too.
I want the same thing. I'm still trying to apply it to the personal life a little bit, but I'll get on that.
Right.
But she's over here smiling at me. So, I mean, there's examples at work. I mean, all the time too. I mean, like this last week. One of the things that we do with a person, if they're, once we get them, like, hey, let's get the process started. There's an underwriting process, and we need payment information with your application to get that going. So, one of the things we hear all the time, where I'll get is like, well, I don't want to give you my payment information until I know that, everything's good and all this stuff. And I'm like, look, I thought the same thing. I was a policy owner first, and I thought the exact same thing. And most of our clients have thought the same thing at this point in the process. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
So before I get into anything about trying to combat that or trying to be like, but this is why we do it. I want the same thing. I thought the same thing myself. And until I found out that this is why we do it, and then I rolled into a deal, and it's just a much, and 9 times out of 10 I'll turn it.
Yeah, fantastic. That's really cool. So good. So, and that's important for you guys out there in the Meerkat world to hear about how this technology is actually literally applied in a real life situation. And if you guys have questions for Ben here about insurance, about what it's like to sell insurance, about what differentiates his company or how to get a hold of him, throw a message down here, tweet it out to me, use the hashtag #TheNooner, and we're happy to answer your questions while you're here. So that's the first thing you learned. What was the second?
The second that we talked about, I know, was average. I think Grant terms as average is a failing formula.
That's right.
And this is something that I still work on. I mean, it's not something that you just like. You always. I mean, you work on it, but I mean, it was pretty quick. I mean, I made it my thing, and now it's just automatic. But the average of failing formula, it was more of not just a business, but like a life. I mean, it's a life concept. Because at first, I just took everything as this is all for my business, my sales. But over here, and I subconsciously separated the two. And so it's been huge for me in a lot of ways because I grew up, we had a pretty well-to-do family. Dad was what we would call successful compared to most, which for that thought right there already, is the middle class. We're better or we're better than so and so.
Yeah, right. We're getting by.
And before Grant stuff, I didn't think any. I mean, I thought this is just normal. As everyone thinks. I didn't even think of it as a thinking pattern. I was just how I'm doing. Yeah, hey, I'm as long as my bills are paid, I'm good, man.
Right.
And I've learned real quick, especially in this business, that if that's all you're working for, you might as well jump out the roof. I mean, there's
right.
there's no point. It's too difficult, So,
right.
And so one of the things I've learned and I'm learning and doing is that if I'm kind of whatever man, about a lot of stuff at home.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me to. How can I go to work the next day and be freaking hit, on stuff and push people to do business, to do better, push my agents that are under me, that are with me on my team. How can I push at work and then go home and just, which is what I've done, which is mostly what I've been doing,
Yeah.
So anyways, so that concept has just been massive because once you get that, so once I got that and I'm working on it still, but it's been huge because I think that's what everything is based around. Everything that Grant teaches is based around that, like averages, and it's got my mindset to that. It's not about just paying the bills, and we're not safe. I mean, if you're one emergency away, you're one. If my company just shut down tomorrow, just to say it shuts down tomorrow,
right.
Financially speaking, I mean, how long are we good for?
Yeah.
You know, you think of all these things that you don't normally think of happen. So never settling, never getting comfortable, and always knowing that there's more to be had. You know, and going for it. So that's been huge. I'm still working on it, but it's getting there.
Yeah, and I think we all are. You know, and I think what's a really powerful point about that is where, you know, what do you have in the background in case? Because ultimately the fit is going to hit the shan. You know, are you prepared? You know, can you handle it? You know, and that was one of those like huge wake up calls for myself. Even I don't know what you were doing in 2008, but I mean I was selling cars. You know, and I was selling General Motors, and here's a company that's going bankrupt, that's falling apart, that you know, and dude, what are you going to do? You know, and if you didn't have your skill set dialed in to actually be able to produce, if you didn't have some reserve, and a lot of car guys don't do that, right? They just they make their money, they blow it, and that's it. You know, a lot of salespeople in general. And if you didn't have a decent savings account, man, you were hurting back then. You know, hard.
Right.
So that's and that's just because people tend to just accept average as I'll be all right. It's all good. And that's dangerous. So good for you, man.
And I see it, and you see it in our business, in my business, even in our deal. I mean, like Grant has a thing in his sales training where he talks about one of those sales meetings. Actually, a couple of them. You know, it's like you got this group of people. They're in the same company, and you're making $40K a year, and the other one's making $400. How do you justify that?
Right.
Like, how do you justify you making 40 grand when you know there's another couple hundred sitting there that you're not getting?
Just hanging out.
And that was a big shift for me. It's sitting there, I'm like, yeah, dude, why? I mean, okay, so my bills, you know, at 50, 60 are paid, and we have a little bit here, and we could go out and have some dinner, you know, we're good to go, you know, that kind of thing. But if someone over here is making 500, what am I, you know, why wouldn't I just go for that if I'm going to do it at all?
Right.
You know?
It's the same amount. It's the exact same amount of effort.
It is. It's just a mindset. So that was a huge thing, and that's what kind of caused us to kind of be where we're at today. You know. So.
Dude, that's fantastic. And where is that? You've gone from Indiana. You're now in Sarasota, Florida. You're upgrading, right?
Yeah. Well, an opportunity within the company was presented, and back in I think June.
Yeah.
Around June. And then that was when it was first talked about in a company awards trip in a pool in Cabo. Sitting there and just kind of, it was a nice situation. And the opportunity was brought there, and then got a 2-year-old, got a wife, house that we built that we loved, you know. And it was, and then 3 weeks ago, I'm sitting here now in Sarasota, Florida. So it's just that idea of just, you know, again, why if we're gonna do it, let's just go for it.
Right.
I'm not gonna sit back and be comfortable, be average, and sit and stay, because that's what 90% of people do, and then have someone else, watch somebody else come in here in this position that I'm in, rock it out, and then 5 years later, you know, shoot myself, you know, because what the heck did I do? So
yeah, totally get that, man.
Yeah.
So the first thing was to always agree. Second thing that you learned was average is a failing formula. Number 3.
Number 3. What did we talk about, Dave? It's not in front of me. I'm sorry to make it look bad.
No, it's good, man. You had mentioned that, well, you had 2 things that we were sort of debating between. Number 1 is continual development as a third piece, and then the second one.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah. And we had talked about how, you know, Grant says it takes, well, we all say it too. I mean, it takes 24 hours to get rusty. And
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's something that, speaking of things I'm working on, I mean, I just went through the moving process of moving my family down here, and then I'll be the first one to admit during that process I wasn't doing the training. I mean, I was everywhere else, you know, which, you know, any normal person could say, oh, I understand, but, you know, there was time I could do it. I just didn't make time for it. So, but regardless of the situation, it's amazing how quick, and I've learned on this training, no matter what level you think you're getting to and how much better you are than you were, it's like as soon as you walk away from it, I mean, again, 24 hours, I mean, even just, not just the applicable skills, but just the mindset. Like, my mindset can fall right back into the old, like, whatever, you know, we're okay, you know, and it does it that quick. And all I got to do is just turn on a video or go onto the training platform and give me like 10, 15 minutes, and all of a sudden I'm back to where I need to be, and then I'm off to work, you know. So it's just that one of the things I really gathered throughout this process is just like, if you're not going to do it every day, as Grant says, then don't do it at all. I mean, don't waste your time.
Well,
You know, Tiger Woods, I mean, doesn't golf just a few days a week. I mean, he didn't practice a few days a week. You know, you want to get the best and commit. I mean, he's going out there every day. And if he's not playing the actual game, he's practicing. I mean, if he's not in a tournament, he's practicing. So if I'm not on the phone, if I'm not working at work, doing my daily deal, then I want to be,
sharpening that saw.
So.
Yeah, dude, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You had sort of a bonus round where you were talking about, and you sort of alluded to it already, but yesterday when we were chatting about this, you'd mentioned something about being nimble. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. It's just one of those lines that stuck with me from one of the old Cardone zones from a few years ago, like back when he was, I think, making his move or something to Miami.
Right.
He just had a thing about being nimble and taking advantage of opportunity, and that kind of was that's what was really behind the whole, taking advantage of this. So yeah, I mean, just being nimble. I mean, putting yourself in a position to where if a massive opportunity comes, you can get up and seize it. So if it means moving your family across country to make a better life for you guys, then do it. Don't be the 99% that sit back, like we hear from people that are back up north right now, that I've wanted to go for so many years, and then I hear a whole list of reasons why they couldn't,
Right.
It's like, I mean, you can. I mean, it's just nothing's holding you back except you. So, that whole philosophy, that line of thinking, was kind of ingrained in me during the beginning stages of the training. So,
say that again. Nothing's holding.
Nothing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, nothing's holding you back except you. So.
All right, love it. So that's our quote for the Nooner today. Nothing's holding you back except you. Knew that was coming. Does anybody have a question for my guy Ben DeVolder here out of Curtis? Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is Ben DeVolder. He works for U.S. Health Insurance Advisors. What kind of questions do you guys have in Meerkat for my good buddy Ben here? It could be about sales. It could be about sales training. He's been using our Cardone University program for the last 3 years. It could be about the business. He may or may not be able to tell you, depending on the regulatory situation. But what kind of who's got questions out there? And then, what kind of advice would you give somebody right now if they were shopping for health insurance, or as somebody from where you are, and if somebody is out there right now, we're coming up, right? It's open enrollment right now. They've got a few more weeks to figure that deal out. If they're in good health. They don't really need to see a doctor a lot. I mean, where would you point them?
Well, unless you're in a state that you can find a U.S. health advisor to hook you up, then you want to make sure you're more important.
Yeah, let's say you're SOL like me. I can't sign up with you because you guys aren't in my state. I'd have done it already. So, what would you? How would you advise me?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, beyond the obvious, obviously look at the premiums, where you're comfortable with, that whole deal. Number one, make sure that if you have a doctor or hospital nearby that you like or want to make sure is in your network, in that plan's network that you can actually go see, double check that before you commit, because I can tell you a lot of people that just assume still that, well, if I get the plan, I can take it and use it, right? Well, a lot of the plans don't have out-of-network coverage like under the BlueCrosses and things of the world. So you want to make sure that you can get that. And then, but also, if a broker, agent, somebody that is willing, that's going to be willing to be there for you, like if they should be able to give you their cell number and be able to tell you anytime, anywhere you need me, text, phone call, email away, I'm here for you. Because what you're going to do as a consumer, and I have life insurance and these other things that I don't sell, and it happens too. You're gonna get a policy. You're gonna see the deductible. You're gonna see some of the benefits and all that, and then you're gonna agree upon it. You're gonna take that policy. You're gonna stick it in a drawer somewhere. It's gonna collect dust.
Yeah.
You're gonna forget about it after a while. Then 6 months to a year down the road, you're gonna maybe want to use it. Maybe you forget something. Maybe you lose your insurance card. You want to make sure you have somebody there that is going to be a phone call, text away, that can handle that for you, so you're not sitting for 2 hours on a 1-800 line. So I think service is someone that's going to be able to service you. I think would be key.
Dude, that's a huge point. Here in California, the guy that helps me out, his name's Michael Westland. He's out of San Diego. Dude, he calls me yesterday. He's like, Hey, you got everything lined up. I know you wanted to add your wife, and literally just out of the blue calls me up, and it was pretty cool because I've been shopping for insurance locally. Zero help, none.
Right.
Horrible follow-up.
Yep.
So if you're an insurance agent, you're thinking about getting an insurance sales, I got to tell you, especially in California, it doesn't take a lot to rise above, to separate yourself from the pack. I can tell you that much right now.
It doesn't over here either. It's pretty bad everywhere. There's a big opportunity for people that are on the Cardone, the GC sauce, and insurance here to really stand out quickly.
Yeah, I love that. So, and I don't know if you're going to be able to answer these two questions, but two questions that popped up. Number one is, what's your view of Obamacare? And then number two, what is your view of free medical care in the UK? So in England, medical, it's covered, it's part of the state. And then what's your thoughts on Obamacare, and are you in a position to even comment on that?
Yeah, I'm in a position to comment on that. I mean, I'm not a, I think Obamacare has been great for some, but it's every month, every year that goes by, I feel like it's hurting more than it's helping.
Okay.
And for the people that I deal with every day, that we get, and I get as an agent, are people that have been hurt by it. So I mean, maybe I'm coming from that. That's just what I see every day.
Right. That's your paradigm. That's what you're exposed to.
That's just what I'm used to. But I do know. But there are people that I talk with that are interested in what I can offer, but then I find out that they're already, they got sick. There's just something going on. I do like to be able to have an alternative option over here that I can, even though I have nothing to do, I don't sell it. I can still point them in that direction and help them get hooked up with something. Whereas before I had to tell them they were SOL.
Right.
So and from that standpoint, it does feel good to have that option on the burner. So I think if you're a certain individual, maybe low income or you got a lot of health issues and you got some things you need to take care of, then it is good. It is good for you. So it's really not a one or the other. It's really your situation as far as that. And then as far as UK free medical care and all that, I mean, if that was the case, I wouldn't be in business. So I'm going to leave that one there. But.
Right. Well, I think it's interesting because in the United Kingdom, while it's considered free, I mean, technically the taxpayers, which is the citizens, the good citizens of across the pond are footing the bill. Do you think that we should continue to move towards full government regulation? I think that would be a good transition to that question. Is, do you think that we should move more towards that in a country like this size?
I mean, you're talking to a guy who's just not much for government regulations.
Me neither. Yeah.
So I'm going to give you you're asking me.
Yeah.
I want to keep this country as free as possible. I mean, unless there becomes a constitutional mandate that says the federal government has jurisdiction to do such and such and such, I'll be for it then.
Right.
But I'm just, I don't want to get all too political on the guy, but I'm not going to shy away from what I am. So.
Yeah. No. Good for you.
I think it's maybe more of a state issue, not a federal government issue.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
So I think if you want to talk at the state level, then that's a good conversation to have. I just think with the way our country's founded and set up right now, I don't think it's a federal government situation.
Right. Nor should it be. I'm with you. We could switch into gun control real fast right now. But so hey, here's another question that popped across the board here, is that if you weren't in insurance, what would you do?
Yeah.
What would you be doing?
I'd sell Cardone University.
You come work with us?
I would. I told the wife already. If the business stopped today, I would sell for. I'd be working for Grant.
You'd be doing your 60-second video and hustling down with us. That'd be awesome.
Hey, Grant, I'm coming for you, buddy. I mean, if this ship stops tomorrow, I'm on board.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, so thank you guys out in the Meerkat world for participating today, and thank you, Ben, for hanging out with us. This has been episode. Hold on, music. Anything you want to throw out at the end here?
Just go get it.
Nice, man. So again, how do the people that are watching this, how do they get a hold of you? If they want information about getting themselves insured and taking care of their families that way, how do we get you?
Yeah, again, my cell number. So y'all write it down, type it down. It's area code 989.
Okay.
750. 2231.
2231. And you're on Twitter at
at B DeVolder USHA.
B DeVolder USHA. All right. Thank you so much, my brother. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out with us. You guys out in the meerkat world, thank you very much. If you missed the beginning of this, I'm going to have this up on YouTube later on. You go to youtube.com/Cardone Solutions. Playlist over there called The Nooner. You can get this from the very beginning, and there's 75 more other episodes for you to enjoy. Thank you guys for being here. Have a killer weekend. We'll see you Monday.